Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. My name is Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
We are continuing with our health unit for the month of November, and we're talking specifically about appearance anxiety, and we're going to talk about modern society, although last time we talked about some examples in the past and their standards of beauty. Now, remember, in England, they liked to look really white, didn't they?
They did. And they would put something really dangerous on their faces. It was lead powder. Lead is terrible for us. It can lead to your early death, so don't try that one. The other place we visited, of course, was Japan. They like to shave their eyebrows or pluck out all the hair in their eyebrows and then draw their eyebrows way high above their eyes. They thought it brought good luck. And then Egypt, they would often take something called kohl, this dark substance, and outline their eyes and draw it really high to where it would go to the temples. And then also they would shave their hair off and wear wigs. It was so hot in Egypt. It still is. I would have done that too.
So that's what they did in some places in the past. And of course, there are other examples where people had different sort of standards for beauty, India, China, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can talk about those, of course, amongst yourselves. But today we're going to focus specifically on this condition of appearance anxiety. You want to free yourself from beauty standards and, of course, be satisfied with the way you look no matter what. Okay, so let's get to it, everybody. We're going to listen to the entire article today, and we'll come back to talk about it.
In modern society, influenced by trends and media, more people are becoming overly concerned with their appearance, leading to appearance anxiety. This refers to dissatisfaction with one's looks, a lack of confidence, and an excessive focus on minor flaws. People with appearance anxiety often worry about how others perceive them. They may become timid in social settings or feel insecure without photo filters and makeup. Appearance anxiety is not innate. It is largely driven by social media. The pervasive use of social media exposes individuals to constant messages about perfect appearances, inevitably leading to comparison and anxiety. Furthermore, societal pressure to conform to certain beauty standards exacerbates this issue. Negative self-assessment can also significantly contribute to appearance anxiety. If you find yourself struggling with appearance anxiety, it shows that you have started to become self-aware, which is a positive first step. This awareness allows you to temporarily detach and objectively observe your state without criticism. To manage your anxiety, try to reduce its triggers, such as limiting social media usage or removing extra mirrors from your environment. Consciously diverting your attention and stopping the habit of overly examining your appearance can also help. If your issues persist, seeking help from professionals, including doctors or therapists, is advisable. Physical appearance is not the entirety of one's value, and beauty should not be confined to a single standard. Everyone is unique, possessing their own inner charm and beauty. We should embrace ourselves, striving for mental and physical health and happiness, as this represents the truest and most precious form of beauty.
Okay, everybody, let's talk about the contents of our article for today. In modern society right now in the year 2024, influenced by trends and media, more people are becoming overly concerned with their appearance, leading to appearance anxiety. So here, modern society could be society right now in the 2020s, but I think this stretches back quite a ways in the days of magazines and TV and stuff like that. People were concerned about their appearance, but perhaps nowadays they are overly concerned with their appearance because of the internet and smartphones and social media, because we have lots of examples of pretty people out there. And then we look at ourselves and go, I just don't look that good. I feel really bad about myself.
which is terrible, but it's kind of affecting everyone now, especially that younger generation who are kind of all glued to their phones. Even when they go outside, I see the younger generations just heads bent and they're looking at that phone. It's not a good thing to do. I think it puts you in a really bad place. But for our women, especially our young girls, I wish we could change this because appearance anxiety is leading to a lot of depression, and people are making bad choices about their lives because they're depressed or very sad.
Right. The internet is supposed to improve our lives, but of course it's having negative consequences. So be aware of those consequences and make proper preparations. So again, we are influenced by trends and media, and we're overly concerned with our appearance. And then, of course, that leads to appearance anxiety. Feelings of inadequacy. You just don't feel you look well enough. You don't look good enough when you look at yourself in the mirror, or when you do the reverse camera on your smartphone to look at yourself. You go, oh, I just don't look as good as those celebrities out there. Well, this refers to dissatisfaction with one's looks, a lack of confidence, and an excessive focus on minor flaws. Okay, we always have them. We talked about symmetry before, which is if your face or your body is even, if you have one ear that's bigger than the other or something like that. We all have those flaws, so don't worry about that. And of course, if you're a teenager, you're going to have acne, you're going to have zits. Be happy because I really wish I had zits myself because they were so fun to pop.
Oh, Tom. Yeah, it's not fun, but you go through that stage, you'll get through it, and you'll be okay. So anxiety is that feeling of being very nervous, unsettled, you're not at peace. People want to feel peaceful. If you're peaceful, you do so much better in life, you're happier. So this refers, it says this in our article, this anxiety about your appearance refers to dissatisfaction with one's looks. It also refers to a lack of confidence. Maybe there's a party being held on the weekend and you don't want to go because you feel like you don't look good enough, or maybe you had a breakout on your face and you don't want to go. It can also be because you have an excessive focus on some minor flaws you have. Minor means small. A flaw is just like that word we learned in day one, which was imperfection. A flaw is something that's not quite perfect. Everyone has flaws. We have flaws physically. We have flaws personality-wise. Everyone has flaws. It's just who we are. We're people. People all have flaws. So we need to kind of calm down, let go, and not focus or dwell on this so much.
Right. And of course, they're trying to convince you on Facebook that they don't have flaws, but they do there somewhere. Believe me, they do. They're just trying to hide it. And people with appearance anxiety often worry about how others perceive them. That much is certain. If you have this problem, of course, you're going to be overly worried about what people think of you, or how they perceive you, how they look at you. Oh, your hair is too long. Oh, your ears are really weirdly shaped. Oh, you've got a nostril that's bigger than the other one. I can see the hairs in your nose. Your lips are just way too big. Yes, you're going to be worried that other people are thinking those things about them. But I think myself that most people are so concerned about their own personal flaws, they really don't look at other people's flaws at all.
Oh, I don't know. I was listening to a YouTube influencer the other day, and she posts about makeup and beauty, and she's gorgeous. And she said sometimes she gets really down on herself because of people's comments. You know, they post mean comments. Don't do that. Try to be someone who lifts other people and makes them feel good rather than brings them down, especially your friends. Oh, my goodness. So there are so many things you can do to make life happy and wonderful for yourself and others around you. So yeah, people get stuck on this stuff. They worry about how others are judging them. They may become timid. Timid is another word that's very similar to being shy. If you're timid, you hesitate to say things. You kind of look down. You don't look up at people and smile. You don't make conversation easily. So they may become timid in social settings. They won't want to go to parties, or maybe they feel insecure. Without any of those photo filters and makeup, a filter in an app is just something that you can use to take away acne on your face. It'll make your skin lighter. You can make your face and your body look thinner. Photo filters do everything. And these people who are celebrities, they have a lot of help. They've had cosmetic surgery. They have professional photographers who remove any flaw at all in their pictures and photos. Do not judge yourself based on those.
Yeah, they didn't have those photo filters when I was in high school. Of course, for my senior portraits, the photographer actually touched up the negative to hide my zits that I had a lot of when I was in high school. Things certainly have changed. Those things can be done at the push of a button on your phone if you want to get rid of those zits or make your skin all even and get rid of the wrinkles or whatever. Those filters can make you look like $1,000,000. Let's move on now to the next paragraph here. It says, appearance anxiety is not innate. It is largely driven by social media. So here the word innate just means that you're born with it. You don't come out of the crib or come out of your mother's womb feeling anxious about your appearance, okay? You learn that later on, and of course it's largely driven by social media, all the stuff you see on your smartphone.
And the pervasive use of social media exposes individuals to constant messages about perfect appearances, and that always leads, inevitably, just means usually always, leads to comparison and anxiety. Pervasive means it's all around. You can't get away from it. Everyone's always on their phones. I removed Facebook from my phone. I also removed Instagram from my phone because sometimes if you have extra time, you'll just be on your phone looking at things. I don't. And I limit myself to how much I can use social media every day. I don't want to get caught up in wasting my life on social media. Think about that. See if you can detach yourself from that. That's one of our words. In a minute, we're going to look at what detach means. So there are always messages coming at us from everywhere, and that leads to people comparing themselves and then feeling anxious and feeling stress. So furthermore, it says, societal pressure to conform to certain beauty standards exacerbates this issue. If you conform to something, you do as you're being told. You kind of put yourself into a mold. You don't allow yourself the freedom to do what you want. You comply with other people's rules and standards or laws. Instead, get away from that. Be yourself.
Right. We talk about people who want to act like everybody else, a conformist, and then, of course, other people want to be individuals and they want to be different or special, and so they're no longer considered conformists. But here we want to conform to certain beauty standards. So, of course, if someone believes that a certain style of eyebrow is preferred, then you might think, well, I need that too. And if I don't have that, then I'll be left behind. Everybody will think that I'm a freak or something. So, of course, we're all under pressure to conform to those beauty standards. And it makes this problem worse. That's what to exacerbate means. It just makes a bad situation even worse.
So negative self-assessment can also significantly contribute or add to appearance anxiety. Your self-assessment is how you look at yourself and you judge yourself. That's not all bad. Sometimes we need to do a self-assessment, right? To see where we are, if we're achieving our goals, what we're doing with our lives. Those are good things, but if you're constantly looking at yourself and thinking negative thoughts, that does damage your self-esteem and leads to a lack or diminishing of self-confidence. We need self-confidence in this life. Someone who always has self-confidence is our Chinese teacher. We're going to listen for a few minutes, and then we'll be back to continue.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们昨天带大家回到了17世纪的英国、古埃及还有日本的平安时代，看看当时大家对于美的定义是什么。当然美的定义，美都是自己定义的啦，可是现在大家对于自己的外表好像都不是很满意耶，都觉得自己好像太胖啦，或鼻子不够挺啦，眼睛不够大啦，什么之类的。这就是一种好像所谓的容貌焦虑。那这容貌焦虑到底英文怎么说呢？其实在我们的 title 上面就出现了，叫做 appearance anxiety。appearance 就是外表嘛，看起来的样子。 anxiety 这个字一定要会好好的把它念出来 anxiety。那它的形容词呢，也是大家比较不会念的，它的形容词焦虑的叫做 anxious anxious。 好，那这个容貌焦虑啊，除了在标题上面出现之外，在我们的第一段第一句最后面也出现了。那这所谓的容貌焦虑是怎样呢？主要就是因为我们现在有很多媒体的影响嘛，然后流行嘛，所以大家就太过于重视外表，然后基本上呢就是所谓的容貌焦虑。可是这个第一段的第一句我们特别注意一下，它是一个非限定用法关系的简化哦。在这个非限定用法关系简化当中，我们特别把后面的这个逗点的 leading 这个字抓出来， leading 还原应该是 which lead to something 导致什么结果嘛。那这里的 which 特别注意，我们曾经说过关带 which 它如果是非限定用法补充说明的情况，可以指的是逗点前这个名词人事物，或者是逗点前整句话的文意。在这里根据文意判断，这里的 which 真的指的就是从句首一直到 leading 逗点前这个地方，所以这边我们用中括号代替一个名词子句一件事的概念。可是这个中括号中间呢，还带了一个小小的分词构句耶。分词构句出现在哪里呢？出现在句首 in modern society 逗点之后，我们先放回三个字 because they are， 因为他们被 influence 影响了，被潮流啊媒体的影响了，谁？逗点之后 more people 就越来越多人太过于重视外表。好，这个叫做容貌焦虑。那我们特别要提这个句子，是因为这个句子它的简化啊，跟我们第二段第二句这个地方是一样的。当然第一段提到容貌焦虑是怎么样，反正总而言之很注重外表啦，不用滤镜不化妆觉得没安全感。那第二段我们也是重复了刚才第一段的内容，基本上就是受社群媒体的影响是比较多啦。所以第二段的第二句啊，他就提到说社群媒体其实会让大家一直不断的接收到所谓的完美外表大概是什么样子，就难免啦，就会产生一些比较啦，然后觉得一种 anxiety 焦虑。所以第二句后面一点逗点 inevitably 无可避免的 leading 跟刚才我们第一段的第一句句型是一样，同样的 leading 还原是 which leads。 那 which 是什么呢？它代替的是逗点到前面句首的整句话这件事情，也就是社群媒体普及让大家一直接收到这个有关于完美外表的资讯这一件事情 which inevitably 就很这个无法避免的就产生焦虑啦。所以有时候呢就觉得说怎么好像我比较丑，奇怪我这化妆好像怎么也不对劲，就是会有一些负面的自我的判断。那在第二段最后一句话这个地方，我们可以把 negative self-assessment 这个关键字学起来。 negative self-assessment 负面的评断呢，也是造成容貌焦虑很重要的原因之一。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, everybody, let's continue to talk about appearance anxiety. And again, some people may feel pressure to conform to certain beauty standards, and that just makes this problem even worse. And of course, we're always looking at people on social media, and we are comparing ourselves to them. And more often than not, we probably feel inferior, and we feel we have to do something to compensate in order to make ourselves feel better. Now, here in the next paragraph, it says, if you find yourself struggling with appearance anxiety, it shows that you have started to become self-aware, which is a positive first step. So, of course, you might be struggling with this problem, but still a good thing is that you're aware of your appearance, and that's the first step to dealing with this problem.
Well, I think they're saying if you become self-aware that you have appearance anxiety, that's good, right? Not that you're just aware of your appearance, Everybody's aware of their appearance, except some guys. Sometimes they're not. But it's good that if you recognize you have a problem, before you can fix a problem, you have to recognize that you have one. So that's a positive first step. Maybe you think, oh, I spend too much time worrying about how I look. How can I change this? So this awareness, knowing that that's what's happening to you, allows you to temporarily detach. If you detach from something or someone, it means you disconnect, okay? So you're no longer thinking about it. You can detach and not be aware of what's going on around you. You can detach. Maybe you're pulling a trailer with your car or truck. If you detach it, they're no longer connected. So you want to detach or disengage. You want to remove yourself from this particular problem. If you can just do that temporarily for a short time and objectively, don't try to judge yourself. Look at yourself, observe your state, how you are, and try to do it without criticism. Criticism here just means usually negative comments about something. Criticism can be something that helps someone improve, but here it's a negative. It's looking at yourself and judging yourself and considering yourself to have lots of flaws and imperfections.
Right, and of course, always remember there are people out there who probably look a lot worse than you. How do you think they feel? And to manage your anxiety, try to reduce its triggers, such as limiting social media usage or removing extra mirrors from your environment. Okay, so here we've got a trigger that's usually on a gun. You pull the trigger in order to fire the weapon if you're shooting at a shooting range or something like that, or if you want to shoot someone in a war or something, you pull the trigger. And here, you want to reduce those triggers, something that starts you thinking bad things about yourself. So in order to remove those triggers, don't spend so much time on social media, and then get rid of those mirrors in your room or whatever. Quit looking in that mirror all the time. You look fine.
Right. If you find yourself constantly checking your appearance, see if you can give yourself, a period of time where you don't do it. Maybe you say, okay, I'm going to go 3 hours and not look at myself in the mirror. Set yourself some goals. That will be a way that you can reduce those triggers and limit your social media use. I told you what I did. Personally, I had to remove some apps from my phone. So I just didn't look at it when something was boring or I had some extra time on the bus. I didn't pull out my phone and look at social media posts. I would do something else. I would read a book. So doing something consciously means you do it with intention. You make a decision to do it. Consciously diverting or changing your attention and stopping the habit of overly examining your appearance can also help. It's good to look at what you look like before you leave your home. Make sure you're dressed appropriately, comb your hair. My mom would always say, I always put on lipstick before I leave the house. You can do that before you leave the house and then say, I'm not going to look at myself the rest of the day, or maybe I'll look at my lipstick or my makeup after lunch, but don't do it continuously or all the time. It drives guys crazy if you're dating someone, ladies. But if your issues persist or continue, that's what that means. Seeking help, trying to find help from professionals. Remember, not from your friends or some app that you find or online information. Go to a professional. You could talk to a doctor, maybe a psychologist or a therapist. That's advisable, something that is good to do. A therapist, what is that, Tom?
A therapist is somebody who helps you with various problems. Like my sister was a respiratory therapist. She helped people with breathing problems. You can be a physical therapist if you've had an accident or something and you want to recover and be able to walk again. So again, a therapist can help you with a specific problem, and we might have therapists who will help you with this particular problem, appearance anxiety. Now let's move on now to the final paragraph. It says, physical appearance is not the entirety of one's value, and beauty should not be confined to a single standard. That's very true. It sounds very true when you read the sentence, but I think the reality is that Your appearance is everything in society these days. Everybody is concerned about what they look like. No wonder a lot of doctors are leaving the profession and setting up plastic surgery clinics because there's so much money that you can make because so many people want to have corrective surgery or whatever. So yeah, it's a big problem these days. Everybody's concerned about what they look like. All the boys want to look like those cute Korean boy bands.
Oh dear. Yeah, there's a lot of plastic surgery that's going on in Korea. Just normal people, not even movie stars or celebrities, and they will have drastic surgery performed. They'll break their jaws so they can remold their faces. It's crazy. One of my best friends lives there, and I said, wow, it's so different. And all the women wear a lot of makeup, more so than even Americans. I was surprised because in Taiwan, the women don't wear makeup that much or wear very little makeup. So remember, you don't have to conform to or confine yourself to a single standard. You can decide what you want to look like and what's important to you. Remember this, though. Everyone is unique. And everyone possesses their own inner charm and beauty. What your character is like is so much more important than what you look like on the outside. You need to remember that always.
That reminds me of the English expression, beauty is only skin deep. Of course, the real beauty is what's inside, and we should embrace ourselves, recognize our own personal advantages or our good points or whatever, and not concern ourselves too much with our appearance. Although if we are attractive, don't make yourself ugly on purpose. But if you're not particularly attractive by nature, you look fine because everybody else pretty much looks like that. And striving for mental and physical health and happiness, that's what you should strive for, as this represents the truest and most precious form of beauty. So that's how we end our article for today. Don't be too concerned about these standards of beauty, although I suspect that that's easier said than done.
Yeah, it's easy to say it, but not as easy to follow through. Do your best. Do a self-assessment. That's a good piece of advice, and see where you are on this. You definitely don't want to add any more stress into your lives, people. Enjoy life. Life is short. Right now, we're going to listen one more time to our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to say goodbye.
所以接下来我们就要谈谈，如果自己真的好像有点容貌焦虑怎么办呢？在文章第3段就告诉我们，好，如果真的有点容貌焦虑的话，其实这意味着就是你开始有一些自我察觉啦，这个是很积极的第一步。在第3段我们同样也看到第1句，好，那这里就没有简化咯，可是它句构的概念跟我们刚刚谈到第1段第1句、第2段第2句都是一样的，因为句尾后面逗点的汇取，它代替的都是逗点前面从句首一直到汇取之前整句话的意思。那就是说，如果你感到容貌焦虑呢，其实你就自我察觉咯，逗点 which， 而这就是一个很正向的第一步。那怎么办呢？好吧，你要不然就暂时抽离啦，用旁观者的角度，用一点后设认知，看看自己是不是真的有点 over 了。要不然干脆就减少一些焦虑的因素嘛，减少使用社群媒体的时间，而且我们要有意识的去转移注意力哦，不要一直去注意自己外表，只要注意外表的时候，我们就要有意识的告诉自己，不要这个样子。在第3段第4句这个地方，我们为什么特别要抓出来呢？因为这个第4句的主词真的有点太长，这个第3段第4句啊，它的主词要先找动词开始，我们从句尾开始，句尾第一个字 help 前面有一个 also 前面有一个 can， 好，助动词 can help， 谁也可以帮助呢？其实 can 这边打个斜线往前推，全部都是这句话的主词。好，所以这句话因为主词太长，所以你如果看到这句话的时候会不知道它到底重点是在哪里。 OK， 所以第4句 consciously 要有意识的转移注意力，不要一直过度注意自己的外表， can also help 这也可以有帮助哦。那假设还是没办法怎么办呢？没关系，就去看医生就好了哦，寻求医生啊治疗师的帮忙。所以总而言之呢，外表当然就是每个人都长得不一样嘛，可是我们要注意每个人都是很独特的。在文章最后一段第4段第2句，这个形容词 unique 注意它的发音 unique。每个人都是很独一无二，我们都有自己的内在的魅力跟美丽，所以一定要接受自己哦。这个接受，请看到第4段第3句，接受不是只是全然接受，喜爱、拥抱自己，这个动词的 embrace 要把它抓出来，这才是真正对于自己美的定义最健康的想法。以上是我们今天的内容，我是安娜，我们下次见。
That's all for today, everybody. Hopefully you've learned a thing or two from our program today. Appearance anxiety, of course, is an important topic, but we're most concerned here in our lesson today, or in our program, about your ability to listen to spoken English, and hopefully you've learned a thing or two about that in today's program. And if you haven't learned enough, you can still check out our content on YouTube and Facebook. From all of us here at English Digest, I am Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Bye.
Bye.